She's definitely ignoring you like your backlog. I look at my backlog every week and I just say soon TM and I just like stroke it. I just, caress it gently and be like,
Then you get another HIO game.
Shh. I have actually been trying to conquer my list.
Wow.
Not really. Actually, I take that back. I guess we could jump into it and I could explain what I played this week.
Yeah, I'm ready. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 193 of Ignore the Backlog podcast. My name is The Real Portz, and Evil Space Bunny is going to explain her backlog in detail right now.
Oh my god, I'm on the spot. Oh no.
Bada bing, bada boom, bada
Look,
bam, bam, bam. You know
look,
what I'm saying?
Look, the thing about my backlog is it's there. It gets bigger.
That's it.
It's there. I'm so sorry. It's so funny because I bought Hitman and December sale. And I was like, I'm going to play these. I'm really excited to play these. I'm finally going to play these. And then the summer sale rolled around and I'm like, I still haven't played those and it's been 6 months. Fuck. So, yeah, that was kind of embarrassing. But I've been kind of looking at it a little bit more. I promised myself I'm not going to buy any new games except for maybe like 1 or 2 here and there. Not like I have been, where I've been buying like 1 or 2 or 3 a week, which has been really bad. It's like $5-6. It's like gambling for me at this point.
I was just thinking about the same thing. And not for money reasons, but just for
my sanity.
Why am I buying them if I'm not going to play them? You know, it's just like, it's for the principle of my backlog. Like, come on, what are we doing here?
Right. It's finally time for me to be a responsible adult and play my video games.
Yeah. I was thinking about somebody posted in my chat, actually it was Pew, about the new Dominions game, and I was like, I'm too stupid to get that. It's not true. I'm not too stupid for Dominions. It's just that I want to play everything all the time forever, and you have to dedicate hours and hours to Dominions to figure it out.
Yeah.
And I don't dedicate hours and hours to anything anymore. Not really. I mean, I played Diablo 4, but pretty casually, and that I don't think that really deserves delving into, to be honest with you.
We are actually going to talk about that a little bit today.
I played the season, so I can talk about it too. I don't know if there's news that I missed, but I'm excited. Let's
the patch that came out.
Oh, the controversial way they like to do everything.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
We're gonna talk about it. So.
Great.
You ready?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Let me talk about what I played this week. So, I found a couple Backrooms games that I already owned. Surprisingly, I
found them.
Yeah,
in the back room of your backlog.
In the back room of my backlog. The first one that I played was this game called Dream Logic. It was really gorgeous, very chill at first, and it was like lovely. We're running around, we're having a good time, we're solving these little basic puzzles, and I'm just enjoying my time in the back rooms and just like looking and exploring, getting lost, trying to find my way and navigate. And I'm doing this little puzzle, and it required me to run back and forth between these 2 rooms because it was like it was audio cues, right? And I'm not the best with like notes and audio cues. So I'm like running back and forth, and then that's when shit hits the fan. It decides to send the fucking one of the wire monsters after you, the SCP famous ones in the back rooms. It's there, and it starts immediately chasing you. And I was like, what the fuck happened? I thought this was a happy game, and it was like gonna be chill and fine the entire time. And like it chases you to the very end of the game.
Jesus Christ.
It was like literally a 180. I was not anticipating that, and I was having such a good time. But it was still a really good game. I thought it was really gorgeous. The music was really good in it. The other one I played is called The Complex. Same idea, trying to navigate. Nothing really gets you, but there is like a lot of like hints. Will it not get you sort of things, because you see things moving, you see entities like out of the corner of your eye sort of thing. But it was still pretty fun. But the thing that got me really bad, again, besides Stardew Valley because I've been playing that, and I finally got what is it called? The community thing. I finally finished that for the first time in Stardew Valley.
What? Oh wait, you completed the whole community lodge or whatever the fuck
Yeah.
it's called? Oh my, the community center.
Yeah,
Holy
the
shit.
community center.
That's crazy. Some of the goals in there are nuts.
Yeah, normally around this time, this is when I quit the game. I normally don't ever finish it. I always get like to the people, and then I'm like, fuck this. I don't want to fucking wait for a pomegranate to grow all year, and then I'm done. And so I finally did it, and I was like, holy shit, this is supposed to, I got it early, and I was like, yeah, and I was like running to the community center, and I was all hyped today.
That's awesome. Congratulations. That's seriously awesome.
It's a pain in the ass, and I think I want 100% that game, but that might be for a while.
Do you know what the next, what's the next thing to do in it?
Year 3. Get to year 3. I've never gotten to year 3 either.
Oh, okay.
That's when your grandpa comes and revisits you. So the other game that I got it back into, and I said I wasn't going to get back into it because we have these backlogs and all this other stuff, but it just sucker punched me, and I couldn't help it because I've been watching my roommate play it. It's Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, yeah.
I was all like...
That's some good shit right there.
I miss Sadie, and like Sadie's mouthing off to Arthur, and like my roommate Phil, he's been playing it and streaming it to his Discord, and like he was at that part where Sadie finally gets pants for the first time, and like she's just mouthing off to Arthur, and Arthur's just like, why are you so aggressive? And I'm like, damn, that's my woman right there. She's the best. And surprisingly, one of our other friends was watching, and he's like, oh yeah, Sadie's the best character. And I'm like, fuck yes, more Sadie people. Mm-hmm. And we dove into why Sadie is the best character, and then how the next Red Dead Redemption should be either about her or John Marston's son, John Jr.
Hopefully not.
Why?
I fucking hate Jack. Jack is a
Jack.
loser.
That's right. I thought it was
piece
John
of
Jr.
shit.
He
sucks a bunch of dick, okay? And in a bad way, not like gay. That'd be fine.
Sucks dick in a bad way. Title of your sex tape.
Yeah, he's not even good at it.
Okay.
When I rode around, we don't have to spoil it, I guess.
Red Dead Redemption 1. Anyway.
11, 12 years old.
Yep. It's the greatest game ever.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, but that's what I played. I am behind on my list.
Hell yeah. So what are you doing in Red Dead right now? Are you just doing story stuff? Or?
Yeah, I just got off of the mountain and everything. I forgot how long that fucking beginning is, and I just blew up the fucking train, and Cornwall is coming at me, and I was like, Dutch, we could have avoided years of pain if you fucking would have left a goddamn train alone, and it would have been fine. It would have been fine. Bye. What did you play?
Okay. Assassin's Creed Origins. I've still been playing that.
Okay.
Pains me to not say oranges every time.
Oranges,
I started New Game Plus, which I haven't done in a game since Witcher 3, probably.
Wow, okay.
And I unlocked the chariot I was going after. So I've got a 2-horse chariot just mowing shit down. It's actually caused some problems because when I run through town, Assassin's Creed is very picky about not running over innocent people. And it's very difficult because they want to be run over, seemingly. And it's on top of that, it doesn't control very well, and it's big, and if you have to turn around, you're going to kill the entire street. So
you're like, get the fuck out of my way.
It's very cool for fighting enemies, but very dangerous for killing civilians. And it's awesome.
Awesome. Yep.
It's replaced my unicorns entirely.
Oh no, not the unicorn. Poor unicorn. Okay.
It's very cool having this in the beginning because they're trying to teach you how to do stuff because in New Game Plus I started the story over, and in the beginning they're like, oh, where's your horse at? And then it prompts you to summon your horse. Mine's a chariot, so he's like, where's your horse at? This thing comes barreling in, and he's like, there you are, boy. He Even though there's fucking 2 of them and it's a chariot. It's great.
Amazing.
It's a good time. So you know what? Let's just rip the Band-Aid off now.
Okay.
Against all odds, against my better judgment, against the universe.
Oh no! What did you do?
Fabian convinced me to try Project Zomboid.
Oh no! Okay.
That game is really fucking hard.
Yeah, it is.
We also do this thing where we don't look anything up, so we have no idea how things work.
You guys are gonna have the worst time. How
We're
many
also
times have you
randoming
died?
all of our people. What?
How many times have you died?
Oh, we've played it for 3 hours, so probably 300 times. Yeah, I died a lot, but some of that is because at a certain point I realized your map progress carries over, so it's like, let's just start darting in all directions, and however far we get is however far we get, and then we can just find each other. Finding each other is a nightmare.
Oh yeah.
Eventually, I just used the admin command to teleport each other just when we start over. You know, no abuse of that, but the game's not fun if you're not playing together. So we spent a long time not playing together, and I think I'll have a better time when we're together.
Yeah,
because the combat gets a little more manageable
until you start hitting each other.
Well, we turn that off too.
Oh, okay,
so.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. For your own sanity.
Yeah, 100%. I'm willing to play the game, but I'm gonna play it in a way that does not make me want to not play it. You know?
Yeah, honestly, understand.
Although I might already be there. I don't know. It's grueling.
It is very hard.
Yeah.
That's why I never.
There's a bunch of long days reading about mechanics in the living room of broken homes.
Watching the TV while you still can.
I have not been brave enough to watch the TVs because I feel like the noise is just going to attract some fucking zombies.
Sometimes it can.
Not.
Sometimes it doesn't. I do like that game. I do want to sit down and try to play like a good amount myself. My favorite thing though is finding your old body and then killing yourself.
So I did that, but I didn't know how to. Fabian swears she figured it out. I don't know, but I couldn't figure out how to loot it. So I was like, "Well, that's fucking bullshit."
Oh no!
Yeah.
I think it's like, oh, I don't remember actually.
She told me yesterday. I forget what it is, but I'm sure she has figured it out. I've just been giving her shit about that because we didn't know for so long, and it felt like such a waste because you loot a bunch of stuff and then it's gone forever because we couldn't loot the body. So that was a struggle.
My first time is I accidentally put everything into a bag that I left on the ground, and then I left it there, and then I just took off.
That was the strategy I was trying to employ when I knew I was about to die. Is just drag shit out of my inventory.
Just like throw it on the ground.
Drop it on
just
the fucking
eat
ground.
it. Awesome. Glad to hear you try new games. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I do it a lot, but it's rare that they impress me. I mean, I'm impressed. The game is very cool. I can't believe how much shit is in it. Like,
it's very complex.
I didn't realize you could, after smashing the windows, you can like clean it up with like a rag so that there's no broken glass. Like, there's just so much like tasky shit to do like that, but it all makes sense, and it's neat. You know? It's neat. The very things that are cool about it may drive me away, but we'll see.
Fair enough.
I went back for a couple of hours into Pillars of Eternity, mostly because I was impressed that it works on the ultra wide. And I found myself wanting to read, but not really read a book. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I just like, it's part of what I've been doing with Lord of the Rings is trying to learn more about Lord of the Rings, like the Tolkien universe. Yeah. And this game has a little bit of that where it's like, oh, there's so much lore. You know, it's thick with that shit. I like that. So, I really just been poking at it, though. I haven't gotten super deep into it. I'd also really like to figure out the combat well enough to actually play the game properly. I mostly just brute forced my way through. There's a lot of saving and reloading, and then at the very final fight, I cheated because I was like, my build doesn't work for this fight, and I'm not going back and trying to figure that out. So I was just whatever.
Yeah.
And that was years ago, but still, I'd like to figure it out. Even though the CRPG community is harsher on this game than I thought. I don't know if you're aware of its reputation. People generally think that the combat is kind of bad, which is surprising because I thought it was fine. But I'm not really engaging with the deeper parts of it.
Yeah, that's fair. My biggest thing is like, I don't know. Sometimes you also get so adapted to it, and you get used to like its shittiness. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, sure.
Like Dungeon Siege, I still go back and I play it, and it's
good.
But everything about it was so bad. And like that, it's just trash. And even I'll even dare say it, Dragon Age Origins. I don't think the combat in that is very good. You have to be a mage. You can't be a rogue. You can barely be a fighter. If you want to get anywhere, you're either a healer or a mage.
I disagree with that. Rogue is the only unplayable class.
Okay, fair enough.
But mages are OP for sure.
Yeah, mages are OP, but you cannot be a rogue at all.
Every time I play it now, starting literally the current playthrough I'm on, I've been using a faster attacks mod, and that has evened the playing field a little bit. Mages are still probably OP, but
yeah, mages.
Basically,
definitely.
everyone's actually like normal attacks go like 2 times as fast, so that they do more DPS.
Oh, okay.
And it just makes the game fly faster.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I would probably not play it without that today. But if you mean unbalanced, for sure. I don't think it's bad. It's just, it is unbalanced.
It's definitely unbalanced.
Although I'll say I'll take an unbalanced game any day of the week. I'm sick of Witcher 3 being fucking updated for balance and shit. There's so many fucking updates. Like, stop micro-adjusting things in a fucking single-player game.
Right?
They do the same thing in Cyberpunk, which I guess maybe they think they have to...
Cyberpunk is still kind of being worked on, but Witcher 3 has been out for how many years?
I actually don't like single-player games being live service type updates. Like, I just don't like that.
Like, fix
because
bugs.
I like knowing something, and then 10 years later, I go back to it, and I can use... If I remember something about it, it's still true. You know?
Yeah.
You risk wiping away that experience. And that's what I like about replaying games, is because like the knowledge I had before carries through, and it's like an easier, better experience. Like then I can learn a new thing that
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know. Yeah. Anyway.
Understandable.
What was that about? Pillars of Eternity?
Pillars of Eternity?
Pillars of Eternity has not been updated, thank God.
Thank fuck.
Last week I beat Halls of Torment 30 minutes after we did the podcast, because that was I only had to do one thing. There's some achievements I could still get, but I may or may not do that. I'm not sure. They only have 3 stages right now because it's early access and all that stuff, so there's not like a shitload of content.
Oh, okay.
I did try to go back and play a little bit of Vampire Survivors after that, and trying to play Vampire Survivors without remembering where you were at and all the things you've unlocked is really fucking hard, actually.
Yeah.
I considered starting over because I was like, I just don't remember
anything.
What the fuck I'm supposed to do next. I mean, you can still chase the achievements, so that's probably how I'll do it. But even doing a run, I struggled to get 15 minutes with a character because I couldn't remember what the fuck to do.
Combos and shit.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, there's a lot of weird things like that with Vampire Survivors.
It's deep as fuck, honestly.
Yeah. It's and watching that thing with the guy who worked on it in the casinos and shit like that, it's like, oh, this is why it's dopamine and happiness.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Dopamine.
They nailed the shit out of that. That's one thing Halls of Torment didn't get quite right, is all the happy colors and beautiful noises. Like, turns out casino noise is pretty good.
Fuck.
I also played, so me and the Dota boys have been considering doing ability draft stuff every 2 weeks or once a month or something.
Oh, okay.
Just in-house versus each other stuff, like
okay.
Just hanging out. But we don't have enough people to do that, really, so we tried a custom mode called Dota 1x6 or 1x6, and it was fun. But speaking of unbalanced, oh my god, one of us, Chad, knew way more about the game than the rest of us and wiped the fucking absolute floor with us. And basically what it is there's these prefix spots on this map. It's a totally new map, and you have a draft order for which hero you pick. They only have maybe 20, 25 characters you can pick from.
Yeah.
And then they're slightly different. So you level up almost like a roguelike, where you pick minute little upgrades for your abilities.
Yeah.
And then you each have your own tower to defend, and waves of creeps will come. So you have to, whatever you're doing on the map, you have to come back and defend your tower.
Okay.
Because if your tower dies, you're done.
Yeah.
And so this is super cool in theory, because you're basically just playing your own single player game, but then you can clash over the bigger objectives on the map with other players, and then when you kill another player, it's a big upgrade and shit like that. So yeah, like I said, it was fun, but we had one OP standout that kind of ruined the experience a little bit. But the last game was very even. There were, most people got 10 kills. I was 0-5-0, but it was the most even game we had.
I mean, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, Simon.
Yeah. More often than not, I lose. Yeah. It's funny how little of your Dota knowledge actually carries over into that game, because things just become insane. They alter the items enough. You'd have to pause and read for an hour to understand what's going on in that game.
Why?
Because I don't know what's in it, basically. You know?
Okay, that's fair.
You can hover over what the upgrades other people have taken and shit like that, but
yeah,
yeah, it's a lot. Anyway, that was fun. And then I hopped into the Diablo 4 season, and felt like more Diablo, I guess.
Okay.
We killed some stuff, and they slightly changed some dungeons. I don't know. The battle pass is fine. It's all fine.
It's mid.
I'll probably keep playing it because I have a buddy that's really into it, but I don't. There's nothing in me that's like, ooh, I need to play more Diablo. That's a bummer for me, because my expectations for Diablo are pretty fucking low. I don't know exactly what's wrong with it, but there is something, and it might be just the MMO nature of it, because they keep things very hyper balanced and minute upgrades, and Diablo 3, you could go ape shit with a build pretty early on, and it was amazing. And this, they're well, we nerfed the fucking shit out 80% fucking bullshit. That was bullshit of us to make that, so we didn't do it anymore. And no one can have fun. So,
yeah. From everything that I was reading on it, I guess we could switch over to that. If
yeah,
you're done.
that's the last thing for me.
Perfect.
So. News.
That's our news.
Hot off the presses.
Hot off the presses. We got news. So I guess we can jump into the Diablo shit show. So during an emergency live stream, the community manager, Adam Fletcher, said that the heavy nerf update is not something that Blizzard ever plans on repeating again. Apparently this patch caused a lot of people to be very upsetty spaghetti.
Doubt,
I know. Including majority of all classes, had heavy damage nerfs as well as survivability nerfs. So making things that or escapes and stuff like that, the cooldown short or longer, and not be as efficient. And I remember, so I'm not playing this, so I'm watching from the outside, and it's definitely interesting to see, because people started making comparisons to it to being like Diablo 3 when Diablo 3 first launched. And I don't remember if you played that or not at the very beginning of Diablo 3 and how horrible it was.
Sorry, played what?
Diablo 3.
Yeah, I did.
So remember how bad it was to just get anything done, or just get around and stuff like that? And
even to play the game, you had to repeat the story. There was no end game anything. Yeah.
And it was just a nightmare. It was hard to get shit done. It was hard to do runs. You had to do things really as a group. And even then, there was still a good chance that you guys would fail and wipe. And then if you failed so many times, you would have to restart the whole area. And so it's just nightmare fuel. And a lot of people started comparing it kind of back to that Diablo 3 with these heavy nerfs and stuff like that. And a lot of people were very angry and expressing anger on the forums, on the Twitters, and Asmongold and everybody else was very upset with like the patches and everything. Like I don't even think Asmongold's playing it on the reg anymore, which says a lot because he was so hype about it. And like even you said, you're like something feels like it's missing, which is kind of sad to see, you know.
Yeah, that was kind of there from the start for me though. Like the story is obviously amazing, but like I don't know, there's just something about it that feels not free enough.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Because this isn't the first big nerf they've done. I mean, coming out of the beta into the launch, there was like a huge nerf, and then there was this season 1 nerf also. Like, it's just the way they do things. They're just like cut it all down. Like Saruman getting rid of the trees and Isengard, dude. Sorry, I've been playing a lot of Lotro.
Honestly, fair. I guess that's probably a good comparison. I wouldn't know. And I got a lot of shit for being a non-Lord of the Rings fan last night in my D&D group. They're like, how do you not like Lord of the Rings? I'm like, I just don't. And they're like, but you like elves.
Of all time.
And I'm like, I don't actually like elves. I like dwarves. Anyway, so San Diego Comic-Con happened this week and this weekend and everything. Out of that came some gaming news, which is kind of fun, and I'm just gonna kind of run through it. So Mortal Kombat is getting a DLC, which is really weird because it's gonna include Omni-Man from Invincible, Homelander from The Boys, and Peacemaker from I forgot what is that from again?
Dread,
yeah.
Dread, yes.
Yeah.
The DC property. He's from or not Dread. Is it Dread?
I don't know.
The Peacemakers or something. It's DC.
He's getting his own show, but it was from something else.
It's Peacemakers, I think.
Yeah, Peacemakers is the spin-off show, but he was originally a character in something else.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I can't remember what he was a character in. Maybe he was a character in he was in something else, and he ended up being he was in the Suicide Squad. That's what he was in. And he ended up being one of my favorite characters in it. Because it's fucking John Cena. Like, how can you go wrong?
Well. Okay.
I don't know. I think it's funny. But they're definitely pandering. Which is
I didn't see it, so
I
shouldn't give a scowl.
Yeah, I mean, the cool thing is, though, they're all going to be voiced by the actors, the respected actors and everything. So, John Cena and J.K. Simmons for Omni-Man, and I forgot who does and I forgot who does Homelander. I forgot who that actor is.
Oh, I have no idea.
I don't know. He's a piece of shit, and I want to punch him in the face. Anyway, that's why I couldn't get
the guy or the character.
The character. I could not get into The Boys because of that character. He literally just rubbed me so hard the wrong way that I could not stop. I could not watch the show anymore.
Yeah, it's terrible. It gets worse, by the way. Way worse.
I heard. I was like, oh god, thank fuck I stopped watching it. Anyway, Armor Core, for the Armor Core fans, got a new trailer that dropped at Comic-Con. It is very dark, it is very grim, and it looks very good. I'm kind of excited to play that and see that coming out.
Did you play Armor Core?
I did. I played the old ones. Like the old ones. And the old Mech Warrior games and shit like that, so I'm kind of excited. I like big robots too, sometimes, not all the time, but
I do in theory, but when it comes down to it, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's clunky, and I don't know. Who knows? I might like it.
You might like it. The panel for who are working on Star Wars Outlaw revealed some spoilers, which I'm going to reveal. I'm sorry if this is game breaking or destroying for you, but apparently there is going to be cooking in Star Wars Outlaws. And apparently, according to the panel, it is very important part of the game. Now, I don't understand why you, an outlaw, which is obviously because it's in the name, are going to be making friends with baddies. Are you going to be, like, making them snackies and sending them over a little gift basket and be like, hey, Jabba the Hutt, do you want to be friends?
Dude, do you do a job for, like, the Hutts, and then they're like, here's your reward as promised. My recipe book.
My dankest brownies you've ever had.
Holy shit.
Yeah, or you're going to be using it to, like, double cross people and poison them like a 50s housewife. Like, I don't know. It's just so weird, and they were, like, trying to be all secretive about it, and then they just, like, well, there's going to be cooking, and everybody's, like dead silence.
Yeah.
They're like, I just... I guess it's probably because, you know, like how Legend of Zelda added it in the new games.
See. That's just the open world thing to do now.
Why?
Is Assassin's Creed Mirage gonna have cooking?
Oh my god. Yeah, that's part of your haptics too. If you're cooking bacon and it splashes on your naked chest. You're like, oh god, please, why? My titties, my man titties. I mean, in some cases it makes sense. Zelda, it does make sense, like using it to deal with certain properties and other things and stuff like that. I just don't see how it's gonna be a thing in fucking an Outlaw game. I guess maybe. I guess it worked in Red Dead Redemption.
You're in your camp, right? You got your dumb little. You can't go to dining establishments if you're on the loose. So
yeah, I guess that's fair.
You gotta learn to do it yourself.
You gotta be Arthur Morgan out there cooking
100%.
fucking
just cooking Red Dead.
bear time meals.
In-depth cooking, but it's there.
Yeah, you got your mint bird and you got your thyme fucking beef or whatever.
Are you gonna have hunger bars in Star Wars Outlaws?
Oh my god, if they have hunger bars, I'm gonna be tilted. Please,
Interesting. I can't wait to play that game. The more I learn about it, the more I'm like, what the fuck are they doing?
I don't know.
It's so
and it's
bizarre.
Ubisoft, which is also weird. So I don't know how I feel about it entirely.
Maybe you have to cook at specific locations, and that's how you unlock fast travel. Like you have to climb a tower, and then you cook up there, and then it's your tower. You know, you marked your
territory, your chef territory.
Maybe cooking for yourself is outlawed.
It's illegal. No more cooking. Anyway, speaking of Ubisoft, we have to talk about this, which is the funniest fucking shit I've seen in a long time.
Okay.
So Ubisoft proudly talked about this too after it was confirmed. So a person got an email from Ubisoft saying, hey, we've noticed that you've been inactive and not using your Ubisoft account, so we're going to be deleting your account.
I read about this today, dude.
Which is fucking wild.
We're sure it's not a scam, right? It's
yes.
Like this is a legitimate...
No, because they confirmed it. They confirmed that it's a thing. And they're like, yeah, we're just abiding by the laws and stuff like that. Now, the EU does have a law that if you request to have your data removed from a company, they have to delete it legally.
Right.
Right? But for some reason...
Okay, that's different than just ghosting a company and then going, well, deleting it in, like spite or something.
Yeah, and then you lose your money that you've put into your games.
Crazy.
You lose your entire account.
I would be okay with a system where it's like we're trying to get the names back from people who don't use their accounts.
Yeah.
And then they keep the account in some sort of holding pattern where it changes it to the like some numbered ID or something.
Yeah.
And then you have to reset your name. Like if somebody claimed that name in the meantime, you have to make a new name. That'd be fine. But deleting an account and removing the digital products from it, this is the nightmare scape people have been painting, and it's here, and oh god,
it's finally happening. It's finally happening. Yeah, and they're like, oh, we're just abiding the laws. It's just a thing. Yeah, you could still recover your account if you just click on the link in the email. And if you have problems with that, please contact us.
What if you're in a coma when the email comes through?
Or you're like away and not accessing the internet. Like I understand shit like that happens, and then you just lose everything, and then they wouldn't have the data anymore, so you can't back it up without receipts or anything. It's fucking wild. And so they're like, well, we're just abiding laws. And it's like, if you're the only person that does this, why aren't other companies? Why isn't Activision? I still have my fucking Activision account. It's still over there. It's still there. Somebody sent me a little screenshot recently. It's like, been inactive for 2 years. My games are unfortunately still over there. And like my Steam, I brought my brother Doom when he was fucking 13 because he wanted Doom. And I was like, okay, you're going to play these games. He's like, yeah, sure. No, that fucking Steam account has been inactive for 15 years. It's still there. They haven't deleted it. So what fucking
That's
law
incredible, actually.
is Ubisoft fucking trying to back? They're like, oh, well, we're just following the laws, like, you know, and it's like, what is wrong with you? Like, oh, I'm sorry. It was 11 years ago that Matthew last logged in. But still, that's a fucking long time.
Yeah. So how long had this guy not used his account? Do we know?
It's been like there's been a mix of it, but I think it's about 4 years.
Wow.
If
Okay.
your account has been inactive, you haven't logged in, they'll send you this basic bitch letter saying that your account is at risk of being deleted, blah, 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 blah. Which is dumb. It's dumb because, like, you don't technically own your video games, right? You're basically leasing them. You have the ability to play them as long as you have internet and you have access to your computer. Which is terrifying because, like, if you ever get banned, you lose everything, right? But if you're getting banned, you fucked up. You fucked around and you found out the hard way, right?
Yeah.
So you deserve to lose them. In my eyes. I mean, you have to do a lot to get banned on Steam. Even Valve bans, you're fine usually after like maybe like one or two.
This happened to my brother who is young and bad at the internet.
And he got banned.
Well, he was looking for Fortnite cheats, and he got a virus, and it stole his Steam account. And it got banned for all the activity that they did on it, and then he was able to recover it, with the help of my dad, and he got back into it, and all the access was resumed. So even the ban doesn't. It doesn't take away.
It doesn't take away your games.
It depends on what you're banned for, obviously, and they're really good about if you cheat in a game. You're usually just banned from that game. I don't think they ban you across all like multiplayer games or anything.
Yeah, not all Valve games and stuff like that. Which is great. It makes sense and stuff. But yeah. Obsidian brings up the point I've just sued him for theft. I'm sure Ubisoft would find all of its loopholes to drag you through court for years.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we've been agreeing to this for years.
Unfortunately, in their EULAs and shit like that. Yeah. Dickweeds. Anyway.
But, Your Honor, no one reads them.
But Your Honor, it would take away 90% of my life. What do you want from me? The other two things that I kind of want to talk about and touch on this week is China. It's been a while since I talked about China. China started finally lifting restrictions with their COVID insane lockdowns. No COVID policy, yada, yada, yada. With that, also lifted some other things, like Tencent being tied down like a little bitch and being told you can't do anything.
I'm sorry, what? This is such a graphic image. You're really painting a Homelander picture for me.
I know I am. I'm sorry. I feel like a monster. But no, Tencent was bullied basically by China saying basically stop making money from video games, stop pushing out content. But now they could kind of resume, which is great for them. Yay. Because that means more stuff for like Riot games, like Valorant. So Valorant is getting a huge update in content coming out, which is good for that game. They also finally decided to release Lost Ark in China.
Oh, wow.
It's so funny how Lost Ark is getting re-skinned and repackaged for a different company, and a new somebody else picks it up as a publisher and just sends it out the door. This little Korean MMO has just been pushed around all over the place, and now it's in China. So it's just kind of funny. But the biggest thing is if Tencent is going to actually work with Blizzard and trying to bring those games back to China, since they're still not there. The only one that is still there is Diablo Immortal, which was done in partial with NetEase originally and stuff. But yeah, it will be interesting to see what Tencent does, because they're just this giant powerhouse, and unfortunately the Chinese government was holding them down for a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
What does that have to do? Is it linked to the lockdown stuff, or is it a totally separate?
So part of it was linked to the lockdown stuff, and they started releasing restrictions, but that also meant restrictions for like their commerce and stuff like that too.
Oh. Okay.
And so yeah, it was all China went crazy with their zero COVID policy, which is kind of terrifying. I mean, if you watched any of the shit with that, it was nightmare fuel. People being locked in their apartments and everything.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's talk about one studio's journey. Say, I don't know how to phrase this. Actually, I kind of do. What would you do when you feel like your life's work is finally completed?
Work?
Yeah, your life's work is completed. Your goal, your ultimate thing you wanted to work for, and you're finally like there. You made it.
Play video games.
You play video games. Okay, that's fine.
That is my life work.
I felt that way about becoming a pastry chef, and I'm like, oh, I just keep going. Okay, fuck it, whatever. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting my name on a menu was a big deal for me. But anyway, so apparently that's how Amnesia's developer is feeling about their latest game. They think it is the scariest game that them as a company, Fictional Games, can ever make. That this will be their, like, creme de la creme. They don't want to try to attempt anything else because they don't think it will hold a torch to their latest game, The Bunker. And I still have yet to play it, and I kind of want to play it after reading this article.
I watched the video on that game. It didn't seem like the scariest game of all time.
Really?
I'll be honest with you. I mean, it seems pretty scary. But it didn't even seem like it elevated above Amnesia, to be honest.
Okay, fair enough. I do need to play through all of them.
It was just a video, so I mean, maybe the person,
maybe.
It varies person to person, but interesting.
That's fair.
Huh.
I talked to somebody who played it recently, and he said he's never been more stressed out in a video game.
Has he played Hellblade? Holy shit.
Yes.
Huh.
So I kind of believe him. I'm like, oh yeah, that's kind of like standard for horror games. And he's like, yeah,
Right.
I've played horror games, but it's not like this. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. But yeah, so he had a rough go in it. But Fictional Games creative director and co-founder Thomas Gribb basically revealed in some news articles and stuff coming out saying that they're gonna start de-emphasizing on horror games in future projects, and they're mostly gonna focus on doing like immersive first-person story games. So they're still gonna do like their first-person games. They're still same cup of tea, but it may not be scary. It may like be more like, kind of like just a walking sim, I guess. It wouldn't be psychological.
That's
I don't know.
Might cost them maybe.
It might not. I mean, they write good stories, so I mean, if it doesn't have to have a horror element to it, maybe
It's kind of one of those things, though. It's like
else.
Their audience is probably all only want that, right?
I mean,
it's like when a YouTuber decides, I'm going to do a totally different thing. It's like, where are my viewers?
I mean,
I don't know. Maybe not.
Sometimes it's always worth it to risk it. Like, I think there's no pain without, or there's no gain without any pain, possibly.
Yeah, it's not like they couldn't try it out and then come back and do horror if it doesn't work out.
Yeah, if they hate it and they're like, we miss our roots,
I
and we
think
want our
that
roots.
this is the scariest game we could ever make. It's such a marketing fucking way to say it. Like, they need a creative break, and that's fine, right?
Yeah, I mean,
this is the most hard. What a 90s fucking way to talk about something, dude. The most. Don't let your parents fucking look at this shit.
Don't let your parents watch this game. Yeah, no. I mean, I kind of get it at the same time. Like, if you think this is your fucking like your masterpiece, this is your baby, and you can't do better than that. Like, I understand wanting to try new things and not trying to recreate the same masterpiece over and over again. and stuff, because then you fall into that same fucking hole. Like they've been doing Amnesia. Like how many?
Ubisoft perfected open worlds with Far Cry 3, and then never did anything different ever again.
I mean, even Star Wars is going to be open world.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean, open world's fine, but it's just the same question marks on the map formula. That's like, all right.
Right.
All right.
It's like, okay, can we go back to a different style of Far Cry? I like Far Cry 1. Far Cry 2 is great, but
when this flops, what's the studio's name?
Fictional. I think it's Fictional Games.
Fictional Games.
Let me pull it up again.
It's a pretty good name, actually.
It's a great name. If it's not that. Let me pull it up again. Read my notes.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's Fictional
Games. It doesn't
Games.
even really matter. Fictional Games?
Yeah, it is.
If Fictional Games decides their next project flops and they need to go back to horror, they could do an open world Ubisoft-style horror game. You know what I'm saying? Imagine Amnesia, but open world.
Oh my god, that would be nightmare fuel. I don't think I can handle it. Constantly possibly being chased. Have you ever heard of the theory of like, there's like a question. It's like, would you rather know, or like, it's something stupid. It's like, there's a snail chasing you, and it's constantly chasing you, but at a very slow pace because it's a snail. And as soon as it touches you, you die. And you can't kill the snail. And it's just constantly after you.
Trap it in a jar.
Oh my god, that's actually genius. You can't kill it. It's trapped in the jar. Fuck. Shit.
Any other parables or brain teasers for me?
I always thought about like how I can strategize and be like, sleep for 2 hours, move fucking this far, do this. Like, had this whole strategy. It's like jar. I'm like, fuck. I'm overthinking shit again. But yeah, no. That's pretty much it for this week's news. Not a lot has been going on. People are just angry at Diablo mostly and Ubisoft now. I feel like all developers are slowly just like fucking up in some way, and then somebody's like, hold my beer, and then they just like fucking move on to the next thing and stuff, and somebody else is just like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck up and just do something else, and yeah, get everybody to hate on somebody else. I'm sure Ubisoft is just like waiting for somebody else to fuck up. It's like, Activision, do something again, please fuck up.
Yeah.
Put out a bad patch again for Diablo 4. So everybody can fucking cry. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thankful I didn't get invested enough to cry over that patch, because that would have been terrible.
Yeah. I watched somebody's stream where they were talking about it at first, and they were like, oh yeah, you know, it's okay, it's not so bad, and then he played after the patch, and he's a hardcore character, and he basically immediately dies. And then he starts immediately shitting on
did you hear that the
patch?
I heard something about this. I don't know everything about it, but resistances, I think, for so like the main way you get tanky is like a melee character, or like the druid or the barbarian is armor.
Yeah.
The other characters get tanky by stacking resistances to, like, you know, various elemental types of damage and shit.
Mm-hmm.
The stat straight up doesn't do anything right now. And I think what my buddy was saying is they've acknowledged that and said basically avoid that until we fix it.
Oh no.
I don't have a source on this though, so I feel like maybe I have some of this wrong, but there is something definitely fucked with the resistances.
I wouldn't be entirely surprised. I only watched part of the emergency live stream that they had, basically, where they were just like, we're sorry. We'll never do it again. We'll never have a controversial patch update like this again. eating crow and shit, and just having a bad time. Yeah. I mean, I you know, when games are always released, there's always the balance and stuff like that. I always feel like, especially with multiplayer games, you should have them in early access and have them in beta longer.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Like, do they have a Diablo 4 test realm at all?
I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe they do, and like only select people are allowed in there. They probably have like
Right.
streamers and shit like that in there.
Yeah.
And they can't even stream it, so they're probably not playing on it very much.
Right.
'Cause they gotta probably sign an NDA bullshit.
No, not launch Diablo 4. God damn it.
Did you start your game?
Trying to look at the fucking notes. God damn it.
Are you okay? Is
Bear with me
everything-
while
yeah.
I have loud
we're
Diablo
bearing
music in
with
my
you.
ear.
Yep, everything's fine. The loud fucking brr, brr, brr.
Frozen.
Frozen.
My life is frozen.
Your life is frozen. Your life is a disaster. My cat's trying to get my attention right now, so it's fine. How are your cats, by the way? So it's
They're alive.
they're alive. Portz.
This is like tanking my computer. What is happening?
I don't know.
Alt F4. Goodbye. All right.
Goodbye.
No need to live research anything ever again. Okay.
Honestly, fair and valid. I try to do as little research as possible. I just try to write it in my notes, like stupid shit, like
Yeah.
people's names and fictional games and stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the podcast this week. Hopefully there's more news in the coming weeks and stuff like that, and everything, and you know, maybe one day Portz will stream on Twitch.tv.
I still haven't gotten a why.
What do you mean why?
Why would I?
Because it's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's stressful. Sometimes it's depressing, you know. There's good days and there's bad days.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's always good days if you guys follow the podcast on Twitch and Twitter for us at Evil Space Money and the Real Portz, and ignore Backlog on the Twitters. I tried to get on Threads, but for some reason our Instagram account was banned for some fucked up reason, and we never posted anything on there once.
Because we never made a Threads. Is that why?
No, we never knew. It's tied to Instagram.
Yeah. But it got banned.
Yeah, I don't remember why.
Honestly.
I'll have to look at it. Billy says that you can wear skimpy outfits and then you get the Sims reports. No one uses that stuff. Yeah, you want to wear some slut transmog and stuff like that?
No, not really.
Not really. Fair enough. All right.
No. I'm ashamed of my body.
You could just embrace it. It's fine. Anyway.
No, I should be more like Stavi.
Stavi's such a beast. I want him to jump out of a birthday cake for me. I would love that. That would be my... if I ever make it big on YouTube or Twitch and stuff like that, and everybody has
You're
a
gonna
party,
hire him to jump out
I'm gonna
of a
hire
cake.
him to jump out of a birthday cake for me, and that's
He
all
would
he has
so
to do.
that.
That's all I want.
Like a shockingly low amount of money, I bet.
$500. Come to my birthday next year. I'll do it. I'll pay for it. I can even build the cake. It'll be fucking great. But everybody else, thanks for tuning into the podcast. We do appreciate it, and we'll see you guys next Sunday.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.